What happens when a nation's own leaders become the biggest threat to its survival? Not foreign armies, not enemy jets, but the shutdown of its own government, paralyzing the world's most powerful country. Imagine F-35 fighters grounded, nuclear submarines stuck in port, and soldiers waiting for paychecks that never come. Could America's shutdown be the weapon that destroys itself? Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. The United States government shutdown is not just a political drama. It's a battlefield without bullets. Across the nation, the impacts are being felt like shockwaves from an invisible bomb. Federal workers, many linked to defense, intelligence, and national security, suddenly find themselves unpaid. TSA agents, Border Patrol officers, and even cyber defense teams are weakened. Picture this in the middle of escalating global conflicts. America's radar screens could go unmanned, while adversaries circle like predators waiting for weakness. This isn't just about offices closing. It's about the world's largest war machine being stalled from the inside. Every day the shutdown drags on. It acts like sand poured into the gears of tanks, ships, and jets that were built to defend the nation. Families of service members are hit hardest, with rent unpaid, children hungry, and morale sinking. Meanwhile, across the oceans, rivals like Russia and China are smiling, studying every crack in America's armor, preparing to exploit the chaos. Let's zoom in on the military frontline impact. U.S. military bases across the world face stretched budgets and delayed logistics. Warships, like destroyers and aircraft carriers, require constant supply chains, fuel, ammunition, and advanced tech maintenance. A government shutdown disrupts this flow like cutting off oxygen to a fighter pilot mid-flight. Imagine a squadron of 22 Raptors ready to scramble, but waiting for a supply shipment that never comes. This is not a hypothetical. During shutdowns, civilian contractors who keep jets and the tanks rolling are furloughed. That means weapon systems worth billions could sit idle, vulnerable to cyber attacks or sabotage. And let's not forget the intelligence agencies, monitoring, cyber warfare defenses, and global surveillance networks run 24/7. But with no funding, watchtowers go dark. This is where the nightmare unfolds. America is being disarmed from within without a single missile fired by the enemy. The Pentagon knows it. The generals whisper about it. But politicians on Capitol Hill seem blind to the cost. Beyond the military, the human side of this shutdown reveals a bleeding wound. Families of soldiers, pilots, and sailors are already fragile under the burden of service. Now they're being crushed by uncertainty. Picture a Navy wife holding back tears as she tells her children their father's paycheck may not come this month. Picture a veteran who relies on V services but sees his appointment canceled because the funds are frozen. It's emotional warfare, not fought with tanks and missiles, but with anxiety and despair. And here's the twist: the government may call this a temporary crisis, but the ripple effects last far longer. Debt piles up, credit ratings sink, and military families are forced to choose between food and medicine. While the politicians argue in marble halls, the men and women guarding America's skies, seas, and cyber frontiers are left abandoned. To the rest of the world, it looks like America is sabotaging itself, a wounded giant staggering on the battlefield of its own making. But here's where the story takes a darker turn. Think about global adversaries. When Russia watches the shutdown, it sees an opening. When China monitors the halted war machine, it feels emboldened in the South China Sea. Iran and North Korea look at Washington's chaos and whisper, now is the time to test their limits. Imagine hypersonic missiles being tested in the Pacific while America's intelligence teams are understaffed. Imagine cyber armies launching attacks while U.S. firewalls are unattended. The shutdown doesn't just weaken America internally, it sends a green light to every adversary that the superpower is distracted. This isn't just political theater, it's strategic suicide. For every hour America stays shut down, the battlefield balance tilts. And the enemy knows it. They are waiting, calculating, ready to strike when the war machine is paused and the guardians of freedom are left in limbo. Yet the shutdown also exposes something chilling: the fragility of America's invincible system. The Pentagon spends billions every month on stealth jets, armored divisions, and nuclear submarines, but none of it matters when the government holding the keys is locked. Tanks can't roll without fuel. Jets can't fly without maintenance crews. Submarines can't dive without logistics support. And soldiers can't fight wars when their families are starving at home. This isn't just about budget negotiations. It's about the hidden weakness of depending on political stability to maintain military dominance. Picture the world's strongest arsenal frozen in place, while Washington argues over signatures and paperwork. That is the true terror of the shutdown. America's war machine is not defeated by enemy bombs, but by empty bank accounts. The idea that the mighty superpower could be brought to its knees by its own government's failure is more frightening than any foreign attack. So where does this leave America now? In a dangerous stalemate. Millions of workers are unpaid, the military is strained, and the world is watching. It feels less like a shutdown and more like a siege, a self-inflicted blockade. The biggest threat to America's national security isn't sitting in Moscow or Beijing. It's sitting in Washington, D.C., behind locked doors, where leaders play games with the lives of their people. The government shutdown isn't just a domestic crisis. It's a broadcast to the world that America can be weakened without a single bullet fired. And here's the terrifying question: what if this